Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. Today I'm checking out the 80's Commander aka Centurions Max Ray figure from Ramen Toy. So thank you for tuning in wherever in the world you are. Now before I get into it, I just wanted to take a moment here to announce to all of my followers that I've opened YouTube memberships for this channel, the Retro Toy Escapades channel. Now I considered to go this route, the route of the memberships, as a means of further growing the channel and to enable me to give you guys a better and more consistent stream of retro reviews. Now I've only set one single tier for all at $2.99 USD a month, and I hope for your support to come on board and help me to grow this channel. I'll be working hard guys to make sure that there's some really good and exclusive stuff here for all members, including early access to videos, and I'm also going to make it a priority moving forward that all member questions and queries get a reply. Okay, you guys will definitely get a reply from me, and anything else that I can throw in there along the way, I need your support and your feedback as well to help me improve things. And I thank you so very much for your kind consideration in this. I've placed a link to join as a member in the description box below. Okay guys, now let's get straight into the video. Before you ask, here's a pic of the new Ramen Toy 80's Commander Max Ray alongside the original 1986 Cannon Toys Centurions Max Ray figure, so you can see the size difference between the two. Now the new figure is 1/12 in scale, so it would go along a bit better with something from, say, I don't know, Marvel Legends. But that being said, it is still a little bit on the small side, and I would personally prefer it to be taller, okay? But it's not a deal breaker guys, it still looks awesome. The face sculpt is very good. Max looks suitably stoic and serious. Now I have to say the company has shown a tremendous level of improvement in the quality of their sculpts. They originally put out a batch of Centurions inspired figures last year, which you may remember, and these were loosely based on the original Cannon figures, but they had different face sculpts, color schemes, and new identities. I think the guy that was supposed to be Max Ray was now a Korean soldier in that version. But anyway, this new figure is the one that fans would really like to have for their collection, and I would say that the excellent job on his face is already going to make you very happy. The material that's used for the figure's body has a very soft, matte-like finish to it. I would say it's a very different approach from the Cannon figures. The Cannon figures were more like very hard plastic with a glossy paint finishing to them. This one kind of feels like you're handling a vinyl toy, but I really like it. I mean, I like how they executed everything here. Everything's very clean. All the details look great. They're going for a very different approach with these figures, and I like the execution. Now the articulation is where these figures really shine over the originals. He's got ball jointed shoulders. He swivels and bends at the elbow. He's also got wrist articulation. That's fantastic. That's something that the original figure couldn't do. The other thing that the originals couldn't do is actually they couldn't turn at the waist, but this one has got smooth waist articulation. All right, this is fantastic. All right, you can finally having turning in different directions. And over the bottom here, he's got ball jointed thighs. He's got a swivel here just above the knee. He bends at the knee as well, and he's also got ankle articulation, and he can turn at his feet. These are all added articulation points to the original Cannon figures. You may or may not need this much articulation, as we may find out later, but it's great that it's here. I would say that if you wanted a representation of a classic Centurion figure that could be posed in so many different ways that the originals couldn't, then this is your chance right here. Okay, this figure allows you to do just that. Now checking out the figure's helmet, you may be tempted at first to just slot it straight over the figure's head, but no, don't do that. Okay, it doesn't fit that way. All right, this thing actually splits. Okay, it splits apart in two. All right, you can take these two sections apart like this, and then you need to fit them one after the other onto the figure's head. This section here goes onto the front like this. Okay, it's a smooth fit, fits in there very snugly, and he looks good. All right, and then as for the back section, just slot in the remaining half until you hear it click. There you go. All right, a real snug fit. Okay, it's great. All right, it fits really nice, and he's ready to take on Dark Terror. Bring it on. Okay, accessories. Now Max comes with scaled down versions of the original accessories that form the Cruiser Assault weapon system. This is the air pack. There's a lot of slots here for you to attach other systems, and here are the pegs for you to attach directly to the figure itself. This is a very nice and sturdy piece. Some of the other accessories are not as sturdy. As you will see, here we have the missile launcher. It's a nice blue missile launcher. Now this thing is very nicely detailed, but it has a very sort of rubbery-like feel to it. It doesn't feel like plastic. It's almost a bit pliable, you know. And if I were to actually look at this thing kind of like from a distance, yeah, I kind of think that it may look like an eraser of some kind. It's rubbery. And this is the missile, right? The red missile that goes along with the launcher. This one also, oh hey, okay, apparently it comes apart here. Okay, let's see. Okay, this part actually separates. Okay, this portion separates from the main missile head. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. Okay. Well, this whole thing actually feels very soft. Okay, but yeah, they go together. This thing slots inside the launcher like so. It doesn't have a firing gimmick. Okay, that's the first thing that I checked. Yeah, I thought that this thing was going to fire out, but no, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, it fits in there. Okay, I hope the portion that separates doesn't break off. Okay, yeah, you can sort of like mimic this thing firing out. Alright, he comes with a set of these twin turbo thrusters. These go to his ankles, just like the classic figure when he's diving underwater. Alright, so these are nice scaled down replicas of the originals. Very nicely sculpted. I would say the end tips here are a bit rubbery. Well, they're fins. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's acceptable. Nicely done. And then we get the large fin, the one that goes into the center of his chest here. Also pretty bendable. I wouldn't bend it too much though. Okay, it kind of feels like, I'm just worried that it might just snap or something like that. This is the Repulsor Cannon. Very nicely done as well. Yeah, this is a great piece of weaponry that goes along with the missile launcher. The end tip is bendable. All right, overall, all the accessories kind of have a very bendy sort of feel to them, but they're nicely done up. Okay, now it's time to accessorize Max, the part that we've been waiting for. Align all the slots on the air pack, all right? Align them nicely so that they fit just right, okay? And it has a very good fit, okay? This fits very well. It doesn't feel loose at all. And once you're done there, what you gotta do is get the missile launcher attached to the back of the air pack like so. Just make sure all the slots are in alignment. And yeah, he's got this whole backpack, missile launching backpack ready. And then the twin turbo thrusters, okay, these go onto the sides here of his ankles like that. Again, all of the slots fit very well. Nothing feels loose, so that's great. Okay, that's one of the main considerations to think of when you're dealing with a Centurions figure, right? Everything's got to fit really well. Fit the fin into the center of his chest, just like the classic configuration. All right, he's got the fin there. And finally, the Repulsor Cannon. All right, just get that onto his arm. This can actually fit onto any place on his body, actually. Normally, it looks best on his arm, left or right. And he's ready, guys. He's ready to start blasting away at the enemy. Now, there is a rush of excitement when you see him fully accessorized like this. But already, you kind of feel like there's a problem, okay? And that's the fact that he just doesn't stand up, okay? He just doesn't stand up. You need to get him in sort of like a more dynamic action position, maybe with his legs leaning forward a bit like this. Standing up straight, I realize he can't really support the weight of everything that's on him. And I think the problem is due to the ankle joints, right? The ankle joints do feel a little bit loose. Maybe the knees too, probably. That's why he can't really support everything that's on his back. But when you get him in a dynamic action position like this, yeah, he stands up okay. I suppose it depends on how you want him displayed. Now, I would have to say that if this figure came with something like a stand or a base, I think that would have been great. Okay, because I'm not really sure if you guys really want to have him, want to handle him around too much. Maybe you just want to have him locked in one particular pose and just leave him there. If so, having him standing up straight is not the way to go because he's not going to stand up, right? But having him in an action position like this works out great for the figure. There is one thing that I realized looking back at the classic cannon configuration on the packaging for the original Max Ray figure, there is a turbo thrust mode. I covered that in my Max Ray vintage figure review as well. And it just seems that this particular figure can't really achieve that configuration. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's just something that you can't achieve with this particular figure, and I'll show you why. So to get into that turbo thrust mode, the air pack actually goes into the front of the figure's chest like that. All right, you just fit it into there. And what comes next is supposed to be the Repulsor Cannon. The Repulsor Cannon goes onto the air pack, and you're supposed to be able to actually insert the missile launcher onto the Repulsor Cannon. However, there's no slots that's on the Repulsor Cannon that enable you to do that. So that particular mode is not something that you can achieve. Like I said, it's not a deal breaker, but it's one of the modes that's classic to the figure. So not having that classic configuration is noticeable. However, you can just attach the missile launcher to the air pack like this, and he looks great. And yeah, you can have him just firing away from the front like this. You know what? With the missile launcher and the air pack in the front like this, he stands up really well, okay? I don't even have to have him in some dynamic action position. He actually stands up really well with everything in the front instead of the back. So yeah, that's one display option that you may want to consider with this particular figure. Now, I got this figure during its pre-order from a couple of months ago, so I would say that the price that I paid for it was pretty okay. Its current price of $269 USD for a set of 3, you know, it may be a bit steep for some, definitely. But I would say that if you want modern, updated versions of the Centurions, then these figures are actually very well done. It is a recommend from me. And let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Thanks, guys. I'll catch all of you again real soon with more videos. Take care out there.